and trying to sound like the best Luddite in the room, like, oh my God, it's going to take our job. Nobody wants to hear that. Get busy living and shift gears or shut up.
What does the future of UX, you mentioned CX, EX, lots of X's. What is the future?
I think AI is going to play a large role in everything that we do. And the sooner you can adapt to those things or start engaging them. Are they perfect now for things like research and design? No, of course not. Goes without saying. But this is a tectonic shift. This is an important moment. And this is just like the big moments of like iPhone, Web 2.0, the web being invented. This is one of those moments that's, going to be a blip, a dot, and there's the stuff that happened before and there's the stuff that happened after, but this moment is a blip. And so the quicker you can shift your mindset to understand that and go move around and use it and make it part of a viable part of your craft and your practice and whatever it is that you're doing, I think you're going to be better off for it. The people that are bad mouthing it and saying it's LLMs lie and blah, blah, blah. AI and ML, we've been using it for years and years. The thing is, where can it be applied? Where can it be used? And how can you stay on top of that knowledge and be an advocate and also inform it and color it with your experience? Because the thing is crying about how it's going to take millions of jobs and then sitting around and trying to sound like the best Luddite in the room, like, oh my God, it's going to take our job. Nobody wants to hear that. Get busy living and shift gears or shut up. And
Yes.
that's the future. It's the now. It's not the future. It's where we are right now. And
Yeah.
so the sooner you accept that and engage it, the better off you're going to be and the happier you're probably going to be. Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
That's totally fair. What specifically, when you say embrace AI, how? What do I need to do? What about it? How do I get started?
I have a really cool little booklet and a cool article, and I'll post it on your thing. But right now, the most fascinating and interesting things that are happening in AI isn't stealing people's illustration IP or they're teaching a bunch of Philistines how to be writers by stealing content from various places. That's the lamest thing that AI is doing. What AI is doing that's absolutely like magical and fascinating is what it's doing in science and healthcare. And it has a lot of possibilities in healthcare and medical stuff. And so we need to harness it. We need to get on top of it. We need to have some ethics. There needs to be some responsibility around it. It's the Wild West and it's wide open right now. And I think that's dangerous. I'll admit to that all day. It's a water sucker. These giant data centers, they suck tons of water. They require tons of water to keep them cool. That's a bummer. That's not very cool for the environment. So let's talk about that stuff. Let's also talk about what they're doing overseas and with like the Philippines and in India and China, what they're doing with these LLMs and how they're training. They're paying people $5 or $6 a day in these internet cafes to support these LLMs and prop it up. That's bullshit. We need to work on all of those things. But where can it be applied right now to every single large organization? I don't know about every single small, is chat, multimodal, bot advocates. There's no reason to have call centers where people do not speak whatever language it is that you're calling in. If you're primarily in North America and it's English that you speak, then you need to be able to speak to someone who speaks English. If you speak Spanish, if you speak Chinese, whatever, Mandarin, you need to be able to speak to someone who speaks your language. And the quickest way you can do that right now is AI. And so this notion that we have call centers that just speak one or two languages, and yet in the state of Texas, we have hundreds of languages that are spoken, hundreds. And the idea that people can't get help in their native tongue is dumb. It's really silly because that can be implemented right now. The other thing is the biggest source of consternation in most large organizations is their call center help. Staying on hold for 20 minutes, talking to 5 different people, getting transferred from India to China, back to the Philippines, back to America. Because once you finally get to the tier 4 support that you needed in the first place, you're speaking to some lady in North Carolina. and you started off in Bangladesh. And that's bullshit. It's not cool. And that's not a racial thing that I'm talking about. I'm talking about a cultural and a service problem. That's a service problem. And when people rail on people for bad service, they're usually talking about that. They're talking about being left on hold. I had to give you my social security number 6 different times. What's the deal? Why don't you know why I'm calling in? This is the 4th time. All of that stuff can be solved by AI. Bad websites, bad product experiences, you can just have these giant libraries, right? And the AI can crawl that stuff as long as it's indexed properly and can report back. Hi, Jen, you wanted to know where a good proctologist is in Dallas? Well, would you like that sent to your email or would you like that sent to your text? You got it on your text. That's where we can start implementing AI safely, responsibly, and it'll be good for the company, profitable for everybody, and millions of jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. I've dealt with some chatbots. I was just doing that 2 days ago, and I struggled because you get that, I don't understand your question.
You're talking about menu bots. That would be a entry point in a multimodal situation, would be chat, like online chat, but those
Right.
things suck. And
Yeah.
most of them are based on menu bots, or they have a select finite group of answers to cull from.
Right.
I'm talking more along the line of like bot assistants or like a bot advocate that can speak to you in whatever your tongue is in a human voice and then go retrieve whatever you want and bring it back to you. That's the next level. And what we're doing right now with natural language processing, it's changing. Prompting is going to be dead really soon here. And you're just going to speak it. You're just going to say, hey, I want this. They're going to ask a clarifying question or two, and then they're going to get you your thing, whatever you're requesting. And people who have done content, people who've done UX, people who've done all of this stuff and any kind of mapping, if you're good at mapping, because that's what all these, what conversational design is really about. It's understanding logic. If the customer asks for this, I give them that, or the choice between these 5 things or whatever. I think that's where we can start. That's jumping in the baby pool, getting your feet wet, but you're not going crazy and diving and doing backflips off the high dive into the deep, dark waters, robots knocking on our door and shooting us because we're 2 days late on our credit card payments, RoboCop shit.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Well, I don't know. Have you seen the bot that looks like C3PO? It's white and black. It looks just like the robot from iRobot with Will Smith, and it's in Tesla. It walks around in the Tesla factory here in Austin. And yeah, it's a crazy. Go Google it.
What's it do?
It's a humanoid. It looks like C3PO. Anything.
What's it there for?
It's an assistant. It goes and gets things for people. It moves things around. It pretty soon here it'll be cussing you out in a room and arguing with the marketing person. You know what I mean?
See, that's taking our job right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bad robot. You make a really terrible latte. I'm gonna turn you off.
Check out all my interviews with industry leaders on BlatzChatz.